Welcome to the Music Life Social Podcast. I'm your co-host Raheem, aka Big Heem.
What it do, General Mills, salute, Double S in the building, Signature Styles.
Yeah, what it look like, G-Wiz in the building, but representing the West Coast.
Cool. Tonight we have a very special guest with us. He is a native of Selma, Alabama. He has taken a catastrophic event and turned it into an inspiration.
Right.
He is an engineer turned filmmaker. He's making his film debut with Roofless after the disaster. And tonight we have with us Alfonso Curry.
Chill. Alfonso Curry, what's going on, boss? Yo, big salute from the general. Like I said, you know, it's always a blessing to have somebody, grace us with their presence and give us some of their time, because time it does, you don't get it back, and
Right.
just want to appreciate you giving us a little dash, a sprinkle of your pizzazz and flavor, on the MusicLifeSocial platform, so we can help share your big bloom explosion that you about to have, to help us have a little explosion. But we just want to give you a big salute. Again, we want to appreciate you for giving us some of your time. Alfonso Curry, man, how's it going?
Like I said in the beginning, it shall be in the end. Do I really got to know?
Right. Yeah, that's right, brother. I know that's right. So real quick, man, give us a brief background about yourself.
Right on. Yeah. So I'm a son of Selma, always home. Dad was a military career man, so I've seen the world. Selma is always home, and this particular project comes out of the roots, out of the soil of which I have sprung. So this is a really moving project for me. It's raw, it's personal, it's about my family, and all I'm here to do is to celebrate something that I really hold near and dear, which is Selma, which is my family, of course. And that's pretty succinct.
Okay.
I don't want to bore y'all too much with too many isms and wasms, but
now, Selma, that is a historic city where Bloody Sunday took place during the civil rights movement. So when we talk about Selma, mention Selma, and it's home for you. And of course, you live, like you said before, you live many other places. What does that mean to you for like outsiders such as ourselves have never lived there, but we've seen the stories,
right?
And we watched documentaries about Selma.
I've been saying this for a while, and it's true. Anyone that is from Selma has pretty much affirmed it. Just like a lot of cities, Selma has a particular point in which it is trapped. So it is haunted by its past in the present.
Right.
There are a lot of towns and cities that are like that, where they're always going to be just recognized and known for a single moment in time.
Right.
Selma is much, much richer than that.
Okay.
Nice. And so being from Selma, Alabama, I always mess with my old lady from Alabama. So I be like, oh, Dusty Rhodes. We grew up with watching wrestling. So Dusty Rhodes, I just saying Dusty Rhodes from Alabama. But being from Selma, I know, like you said, that history is rich. Like that one event, I'm not gonna say scarred the town, but that's the mark of what we all kind of know, the history, like he said. But what things, like, so we didn't even get into your filmmaker. Now you was an engineer, so I was just going to ask about some influences from the town, from the area, anything that kind of got you into the lane that you in now. Influences for the people, family, events, places, any things like that to get you into your lane of creativity.
Well, if I may, I do hear a why in that question. And I like to always present this not with a question, but I will, and I will ask the gentleman on the panel of the folks here, Raheem. I'll begin with you. Your grandfathers. Have you met either one of your grandfathers?
Just one on my maternal, on my mother's side.
Okay, but never the other grandfather. In
Never.
general.
Yeah, I've met my grandfather, my mom's, of course, my mom's grandfather. I mean, my mom's mom and my dad's mom. So I did meet both of my grandfathers growing up.
And Gee Whiz on the West.
Yes, I was.
How about you?
I was young enough to have the honor to meet both of my grandfathers.
Well, I never met either one of my grandfathers. And I have siblings. And when I ask that question, and I've asked that question in front of others, and they immediately know where I'm going when I ask that question, because none of us ever met either one of our grandfathers. So I don't know what his voice sounds like. It's a meaningful thing to you and to anybody that comes behind us, sometimes just to hear that voice for legacy. And that is the reason that I make films, to get that recorded history. Even if it's just a small, soundbite, it matters.
Right.
Well, that's
that's real though. That's real.
Being in engineering though, did you always feel as though you had this talent in you? Because I think making films is a talent, and there's certainly a certain creativity that goes into that. Do you feel you always had that in you, even at a young age, or did it just come out as a result of a tragic incident that occurred in Selma?
Great question. And so I like to say yes. Always had the interest in any kind of media. Have been involved in it, digested more than I care to kind of share with you here. A full library of things, but all my family will tell you I'm the storyteller in the family. Always have been.
Okay.
Just by natural design, natural order. As I've shared with others, got to college as an engineer and was told by one of my high school teachers, hey, when you get to college, told the whole class, not just me, I'm not sure if anyone else heard it besides me, but it was shared with the class. Right. When you get to college, take any class that you feel like you have ever had interest in when you get there, because you got your whole life to work. I heeded that advice. And as a freshman, got some electives that I was able to take, went and took some acting classes, and I never looked back.
Nice.
I got pulled in, got bit by the bug like everyone says, but my blood was already infected with the interest anyway. So this just kind of made it more of an aggressive form of interest. Okay. And some people that were around me, hey, if you want your project to be successful, you might want to get this dude over here. And I'm not saying that aggrandizing. I've been told that by a brother, a fellow friend of mine, who to this day has been there on every project I've ever worked on since we were in college. Nice. And he's a part of this project. Okay. I run everything past him, and that's kind of when I learned that he was the one that was saying all that. Mm-hmm. So I'm over there in the arts and theater and such. I see how one guy makes a great project. See how somebody else is doing something that's a little more in the experimental category.
Right.
That's as nice as I can be about it. I think I probably only said that.
You can say it, but I'll say it. The shit was whack.
Yeah, sound about right.
Yeah,
sound about right.
We just gonna be. I'm gonna just be real. Yo, your shit is garbage. Yeah, I got you.
Go back to the writing board or
Right, right.
whatever, the acting board.
Um, so when you grabbed your camera, man, and you went to go film, uh, after the event or after the tornado in Selma for the film, what were your emotions like seeing your city being just devastated?
I'm glad I'm in record mode right now because to see this and have to deal with this in real time, I probably wouldn't be able to absorb it the right way.
Mm.
It gave, and I've done this before and said this before. Um, Watching, a loved one do something that is very moving, but I'm recording it, and so I'm making sure I'm so dialed in on the right brain part of it that the emotion doesn't creep in until I go back and watch it later.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting way to tackle that, because I was going to ask you even before he asked you that about what you were saying with the schooling, and you said you went into acting classes. I was going to say, I mean, obviously you're doing the filming, so I guess the filming was more of what you was interested in, or how did you convert to that? And then what you just saying, what you said like that, I guess, how did you know or learn how to separate your emotions from, like you said, live recording it to, I guess you said the right brain side, and you really getting footage, and you thinking on that, I guess the engineer side of the brain versus allowing the real emotion and what you're seeing and filming to affect you. So it's kind of like two questions, but how did you come about to know to do that? I know you say you had some people in your life and that was in the film. So I mean, I'm pretty sure you got some pointers, but how did that go from transitioning from acting to filming, and then that part of separating those emotions from the film side of it?
So the emotion, I only really made that connection after I filmed something one time.
Mm,
And I said, wow, I'm glad I was recording that because I might have had a different reaction.
I understand.
In terms of who was how did I kind of move more into the lane of behind the camera? There was a dude, the guy that I feel like was a really special filmmaker when I was in college, back when you didn't have this studio in your pocket.
Right.
That's true.
You had to have a camera. And this guy happened to have a bona fide, what you see in terms of a film camera, and he was walking around with it. And I remembered saying to him very similar things. How did you get into that?
Yeah.
And I remember him saying to me, Alfonso, let me tell you something. I'm really not that good. I just have the camera and I just record what I can record.
You do.
And everyone has all these questions. It's not really that difficult what we do. You just kind of got to do it. And the sooner someone puts it in your hand, the better. So I always held on to that. I don't know where that guy is. I know his name, but I don't know
Mm-hmm.
where he is. I know he went out to California, was doing some things. And after I got out of the college circuit, out in the world, had the bug. And do I want to do acting? I don't know. I don't think anyone really wants to grow old in front of the camera.
I know that's right.
I know
Think
that's right.
about that.
I know that's
Think
right.
about
Yeah,
that
I'd much
part,
rather
man.
be behind the camera.
You
Yeah.
know, you
Thank
feel.
you.
You
So
hear
when
me?
I come out, they're like, man, who's that young dude? Man, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, dude, you didn't watch me age on that
Right.
side of it,
You
you
feel?
know?
Yeah, that's
And
right.
Yeah.
so it's a much better feeling to be on this. Now I've done some moonlighting.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to stand in for myself to do things, but I find myself being that much more inspired by coming up, and I'm a filmmaker,
Right.
which means if you need me to run and get coffee to make this film work, what brand do you like?
No, that's right.
Ye-
Okay.
Are we cleaning up behind ourselves? Okay, give me a broom or give me a trash bag.
Heard you.
But okay, you need me to get in that shower scene? Hey man, let me tell you what brand I like to use to make me smell good,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, old
Yeah,
spices.
Yeah.
yeah. I'll be the stand-in for that.
Right.
Not no Diddy.
No,
No baby oil afterwards. None.
like that dude said he was making he was
Right.
making beats in the shower, and Diddy was all
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
sounds crazy. Like, wait a minute.
Right.
But okay, no Diddy. That's
I'm
right.
sorry. I can't hate on the brother.
Yeah,
He's having a rough time right now. That's
yeah,
meant for comedic effect only.
for
Yeah.
sure,
Right.
for sure.
So what I have had to figure out where and how I'm gonna make this thing work. And the one thing with me, with every project, it's gonna get completed once I begin. I've never had a
Mm,
project that I started that it didn't finish on
nice.
time and under budget. And let me say this because we need to get in touch with this cat, and y'all need to figure out or help me figure out
Mm-hmm.
how to reach him.
Okay.
My company got started doing a comedy show for Ricky Smiley in Selma, Alabama.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He will be able to tell you about this comedy show, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. He's going to have jokes,
Yeah.
and they're all true.
Mhm.
My company sprung out of that comedy show, and the
Really?
brother that connected you and me and the four of us, the brother that connected us can validate it
Mm,
because we did a comedy show before Ricky's that was off the charts.
Okay.
nice.
Ricky might have seen me as that guy saying they were probably doing more experimental theater than they were doing a comedy show. And
Mm,
I'm going to let him tell the joke because it's funny. And all my partners that know me, they'll be like, yeah, man, Ricky is still telling jokes about that comedy show you did for him.
nice.
I'll let it be I'll let it be right there where it is.
Cool.
And we went back into that theater and screened this film in that theater in Selma, Alabama,
Nice.
back in January. So there
Mm,
is a point. There is a point to this story.
Mhm.
Is the tornado hit on January the 12th, 2023.
okay.
January the 12th, 2025, this film
Mm,
screened in that theater 2 years to the date,
wow.
self-imposed deadline.
Wow. That's what I'm going to ask you about those
Nice.
deadlines. You said you met a deadline and under budget. I was going to ask you about who's making the deadlines, how's that coming about. But okay.
All self-imposed.
Nice.
Nice.
Now,
Nice.
let's move forward. The universe lining things up here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sure y'all see this backdrop that I've got here, the Selma 60.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know y'all are, history, in touch with what's going on. 60-year anniversary of the Bridge Crossing Festival in Selma back in
Nice.
March. We premiered an advanced screening. The march took place 60 years ago on March the 7th, 1965.
Damn.
This film had its bridge crossing debut March the 7th, 2025.
Wow.
Wow.
The universe lined that up.
Wow.
Mm-mm-mm.
Wow.
Okay.
60 years to the day, the universe lined this up.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah. That's what
I,
you
I,
know,
I, I have a question, a real quick question.
but
In terms of the filmmaking, are your goals and aspirations going forward? Do you see yourself uh, doing things in terms of mainstream, or do you see yourself doing just focused on what it is that you're doing now? Get into
Independent
like
films.
yeah, like documentary.
mainstream cinema and things like that. Do you see yourself doing that? Because it's not as though you don't have talent, because clearly you do. But do you want? Is that something that you want to do, or is that a goal of yours, or what do you see yourself going forward?
The answer is yes, that is my goal.
Okay.
That has always been the goal.
Sure.
And it the reality of the filmmaking endeavor,
Mhm.
you all can attest to this because you all have a platform. No matter what you're doing, if I'm making a short film and Steven Spielberg is making a short film, I'm competing against the people that are going to go see his film versus mine.
Mhm.
No, that's right.
Oh yeah, you
For
got a point
sure.
right there. That's facts.
Once
Yep.
you get out there, guess
You out.
what? If what you are doing matters to someone, they will stop what they're doing to watch it.
Yeah.
I know that's right. For sure. For fact. Yep.
So the answer is yes.
Okay.
That's
I
facts.
do endeavor to do more. Competition stiff though, man. You know,
Yeah.
Yes,
I
it
just
is.
I just happen to be a filmmaker in a town
Mhm.
where a tornado just so happened to hit the home of my family.
Yeah.
And I had the wherewithal and the good fortune, but also the blessing to have parents who survived it.
Right.
And I'm able to tell a much more inspiring and give a much more inspiring account. It could have been way different.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. What do you want this film to achieve? What do you want people to take away from your film Roofless after the disaster?
I'm sharing the love that I have about my family, my hometown. It's a it's an electronic love letter. It's a recorded love letter to the world
Mm.
about this town that I love. Because this is the film I wish I never had to make,
I guess
but
in
it had to be told. This story had to be told.
I guess in a strange way, do you think this is in some cosmic sense a calling?
I was called to do this,
Okay.
literally, figuratively, and spiritually,
Okay.
Nice.
and we captured all that. I may have said this. I've said it, enough that I got to make sure that if I'm repeating myself, please forgive me. Verite is a word that I became reacquainted with at one of my latest symposiums that I was invited to just out of pure alignment. And the word verite has become, it was this symposium, there was a noun, a verb, and verite. These people believe in, these are bona fide filmmakers.
Mhm.
And I had to go back and relook up that word because it is one of those words in the filmmaking world, and real folks that are really dedicated to doing what they're doing to their craft. A word like verite means that was a real time truth. And so I've been saying real time, but I've had to get back to the verite.
Right.
I had to get back to that as the language of filmmaking.
Yeah.
And so this is this is all real time after the disaster.
Okay. Okay. And now you have a special screening here in Hateville, Georgia. So give the people the dates and the times or whatever when they can check you out and how they can find you on social media and any of your I don't know advice for any aspiring filmmakers.
Gladly.
Sure.
Let's start with the aspirations, and then the aspiring is I've used this before. Um, I'll use two different analogies. The first one being you always hear people talk about, and I can't take credit for this. This is a billionaire guy. If I mention him, I'm not going to name drop, but my understanding is this billionaire personality has this on their wall. There are in the game of life, people talk about life's either a sprint or a marathon.
Mm.
There is no finish line.
Mm. Okay.
Okay.
With
Mm.
that being said, anything that you're trying to scale in the way of a mountain, because filmmaking is a mountain. At some point, you hope you're going to reach a tipping point. With that being the case, there are quitters, there are campers, and there are climbers. So if you're an aspiring filmmaker and this mountain looks too daunting for you, you're probably going to quit before you get started, telling yourself, I can't do this. The camper is going to begin their journey, probably going to start camping out, get way comfortable. They won't continue the journey. But the climber keeps climbing because they believe there's more out there. And a filmmaker's biggest commodity is their time. And there's no wrong or right time to begin or finish. You just got to keep climbing. So I'm a climber. I believe y'all are climbers. I've been meeting a lot more climbers lately. But you know what the good news is about the climber? It doesn't mean you have to go high. You could go wide. You can actually scale back down the mountain and say, that quitter, who I called a quitter, was quitting because I got to the part where they said, if you keep climbing, you're going to run into this ridge over here. I didn't see the ridge, and they had a way to get out of it. Let me go find that person who said they were a quitter, but they quit because they said, you're not going to get past that ridge. You can scale back down the mountain and bring anybody with you want.
Nice. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
The climb. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as the film goes, please come out to Hateville. This is a bona fide outreach theater. They do more than just theater. I learned this the other day because I was meeting with the actual folks that run it. They deal, at least the person that I knew, they do real outreach theater. They're the kind of theater.
But when you say outreach, what do you mean when you say outreach theater?
I'm so glad you said that because I didn't understand until I sat amongst this person and they said, this is the way the conversation went. You know, I haven't been into a prison in so many years. I'm not sure I'm even doing my outreach anymore. Charles S. Dutton, The Rock. Y'all know who Charles S. Dutton is?
Oh yeah.
I know that.
He got started doing theater in prison.
What?
If you didn't know that, that's hit. Raheem.
Yeah.
You were aware of that?
No, I knew that. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
No,
G-Wiz, were you aware of that?
Not in prison, but I'm familiar with him. He was a great actor.
That's how he got his start.
Wow.
I did not know that.
They're a bona fide outreach theater. They go to, according to this person, they got much bigger plans for what they're doing. Mine is I just went to them because I know someone who's a part of it and said to me, when you're done screening your film in Selma, bring it over here. We want to show it. Bring it to us.
Nice.
So moving into that space, the next thing is May the 29th. It's a Thursday, 6 o'clock and 7:15. Come out to the Hateville, Georgia Academy Theater. I'm going to do a big name drop here. Their biggest alumnus, you probably will, I'll give you 3 guesses, and I won't even count the first 2.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
There's 3 of y'all. Major superstar actor.
Superstar actor. That's, you said an alumni of where now?
They're an alumni of Academy Theater.
Of Academy Theater.
He used the word actor, not actress. So I'm guessing it's a male.
Superstar actor.
We're gonna say Samuel L. Jackson.
What?
Are you serious?
Oh,
he got it.
Somebody else.
No.
I'm dead serious. You're right, Raheem.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, what can I say, man?
Come on, Big Heem, the dream. Nice.
I've never met him. I didn't know that. I've never
Yeah.
met him. I know the guy that has met him and talks
Yeah.
about how he always was saying this is who he would be. He's an alumnus. That
He's come a
Academy
long way.
Theater.
Yes.
Academy Theater is the oldest theater company in Atlanta.
Really?
Mm.
They got
That's
some
by the
great
Porsche
alumnus.
Hotel somewhere, right?
Say that
Right by
again.
the Porsche Hotel or something.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that in
yeah.
by the Porsche Hotel?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
right
correct.
over there.
Yeah, I know where it is. I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
for
Come
sure.
out. It's a great
Wait
space.
a minute now. Didn't Samuel L. get into his first film like late, like
late 80s.
Late
No, I'm
80s.
talking about his age. When
Okay.
he first
Oh, how
hit.
old? Yeah.
How old was Samuel L. when he first hit like a big screen? Wasn't he like kind of old, like older than 40?
Do the right. I know.
That's
Do the
my
right thing.
understanding.
Right thing.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite
So
movie.
my thing is
That's my favorite
huh?
movie of all time. Do the Right Thing is my favorite.
Oh
Yeah.
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 So I was just asking that because that shows the resilience of a climber, like you said. You know, he just hitting the big screen after 40 or whatever age he was, and
Yeah.
he was alumni of this academy of this theater. Shows resilience in a climber, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Well,
Poorhouse
Nice.
look,
man.
Alfonso, tell the
Nice.
people where they can find you on social media.
I am not a big social media cat for real. I'll be
Okay.
completely honest with you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got my heads down programming. I do have a website, Southtown Media
Okay.
Okay.
Productions.com. That's about as much presence as I really have. I'm getting there, you know. Slow.
You with
You know,
us?
I'm not.
You got with us. So you doing
Yeah, hey,
something?
yeah,
Yeah.
You
and that's what
doing
I'm
it?
saying is
You doing it?
there are other people out there that are better in this space than me. I don't like to get out there and do too much promotion unless I really have something that I'm out here promoting.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
Yeah.
That's me just being as candid as I can be.
Yeah.
And now as far as the Academy Theater goes, you can visit their website, and this project is a part of their film series. Tickets are
Nice.
available online. You can buy tickets now. Please, this place, we want to pack the house. It holds more than 100,
Okay.
and everybody go there, get your tickets now. And Academy Theater, you can go in there and look. It'll take you right through Academy Theater, and even if you just type in the word roofless after the disaster, not only will you see the platform that I've created with a
Okay.
team to start going out on the festival circuit. This is mainly promotional going to the Academy Theater, not only for the project, but for the theater,
Right.
because
Right.
they really and truly, as I've gotten over there and learned about this place, support the theater.
Okay.
And if you do that, you'll see the Film Freeway platform, which is the way people now submit to festivals. I just learned about that from someone else. Like I said, when somebody's teaching, I'm learning. And the Film Freeway platform is your online pitch deck, and it's
Okay.
the way you submit to festivals.
Cool.
So
Cool.
if you go out there and do the search Roofless after the disaster, you'll also see where it'll say get your tickets.
That's right.
For sure. For sure.
1
Man.
week from tomorrow, we're screening.
Okay.
So get in the
Nice.
queue and support the theater and support, a project that I like to think has heart. As far as a message goes, as I said before, it's a love letter to a town that I call home.
Cool, man.
Nice.
Well,
Nice. Roofless after
Alfonso
the
Curry,
disaster.
we
I would like to
definitely
hear. Yeah.
appreciate your time
That's
coming
right.
on the platform, man, showing us some love. And we're gonna send people make sure people go out and support your film and any other endeavors that you're doing. So we definitely appreciate your time coming here on the
Yeah,
Music
I'm
Life
definitely
Social
looking forward to
platform.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to pull up on that event. Like
Yes.
like how we was talking before. You know, I'm an aspiring filmmaker myself. I have some other people that schooled me, and I'm just trying to you know, got, you know, just my toes wet and not even up to my ankles yet. But, you know, I'm probably definitely going to come out to that. That'd be nice. You know what I'm saying? I would like to experience that for sure.
Well, let's
Yeah.
turn this 2D and let's turn this 2D acquaintance into a 3D partnership. How about that?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I think your,
That's right. So definitely.
I think your profession is one of the top 3 professions that are on the planet. To be honest with you, I thought writing screenplay was the ultimate, but I think being behind the camera is probably one of the top 3 jobs.
I'll say it like one of my real homeboys tells me, man, it's more than a notion.
Yeah.
I know that's right. Put
So
it in
thank you,
motion.
G Wiz. I really
Yeah.
do appreciate that blessing. And I'm just one dude working as a dude, sometimes disguised as another dude.
Do I really need to know? I don't really need to know. Just that dude. Just that dude. That's it. Oh, that's
Again,
right.
man,
By the way,
thank you for your time, man, and showing us love, taking time out of your busy schedule. We definitely appreciate it, man, and we're gonna come out and support your project and support the theater. You know, give it up, y'all. Alfonso Curry.
Alfonso Curry in the building.
Yes, sir.
So signing off. That's it. Music Life Social.
Music
Check
Life
out
Social.
the podcast on YouTube and on Spotify. Check us out at Music Life Social. Peace, y'all.
All right.
Bless up. Bless up.
Yes.
Blessings.
Yeah.